Hello, everyone, and welcome into Fridays with Phil. I'm Phil Mayo, and I'd like to share with you 5 minutes of biblical insight to help you along the way. If you enjoy the content, please be sure to subscribe. One reason why the messages to the 7 churches are interesting is that they provide historical insight to help us understand the context of Revelation. The messages to Smyrna and Pergamum are the first to indicate the churches are experiencing external persecution. Jesus says to the church in Smyrna, "Do not be afraid of what you are about to suffer. Look, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison so that you will be tested and will have persecution for 10 days. To the church in Pergamum, he says, "I know where you live, where Satan's throne is." He then commends the only martyr mentioned by name in Revelation, Antipas, who was killed in Pergamum, where, quote, "Satan lives," end quote. These references to Satan or the devil are intriguing and should be considered in light of the context of Revelation. Outside of the 7 messages, Satan is not mentioned by name until Revelation 12. Where he appears as a dragon and is identified as, quote, "the ancient serpent, the one called the devil and Satan," end quote. According to Revelation, Satan is the arch enemy of God and his people and the power behind the anti-God forces on earth. Therefore, his presence in Smyrna and Pergamum makes sense. Pergamum is the place where Satan's throne is, and the city where Satan dwells. Scholars have debated what this designation might suggest historically. It is uncertain but possible that Pergamum was the home of the Roman proconsul. If Pergamum was the seat of Roman provincial authority, this might explain the reference to Satan's throne. Pergamum would have been the seat of judgment, perhaps the judgment against Antipas that sent him to his death. The Roman Empire is portrayed in Revelation as the personification of the anti-God forces. Another possible explanation for Satan's throne is the very prominent Acropolis at Pergamum. Many ancient cities had high places which served as their worship center in the site of numerous temples. Pergamum's Acropolis could be seen by travelers for miles and may have inspired the satanic throne imagery. In addition, Pergamum had the dubious distinction of building the first imperial temple in Asia to Augustus and Roma. Emperor worship was prominent in Asia Minor, where numerous temples were located. After Pergamum's temple, Ephesus would build a temple to Domitian, the emperor under whom John wrote the Revelation. Emperor worship proved to be a direct challenge to Christians, the lordship of Jesus, and is behind some of the imagery in Revelation. A couple of other references in these messages that bear brief attention is the expression synagogue of Satan found in the message to Smyrna, and the second mention of the Nicolaitans who are present in Pergamum. Synagogue of Satan is an expression that will appear in the Philadelphian message, so we will save that discussion for later. However, the Nicolaitans, whom we encountered in Ephesus, bear brief consideration. The Nicolaitans' reputation in church history is that of a libertine sect, but their origin is uncertain. John writes that in Pergamum there are those who hold to Balaam's teaching, who taught Balak to entice Israel to eat food sacrificed to idols and to commit sexual immorality. Likewise, he says, you also have those who hold to the teaching of the Nicolaitans. Does this latter expression suggest the Nicolaitans were the ones teaching compromise with the pagan culture? Many scholars believe the language supports such an inference. If indeed the Nicolaitans, present in both Ephesus and Pergamum, or those teaching a compromising lifestyle, which included involvement in pagan idol worship, this may explain the similar problem in Thyatira, where a teacher, metaphorically called Jezebel, is also teaching Christians to eat food sacrificed to idols and to commit sexual immorality. It's possible that all three churches, Ephesus, Smyrna, and Thyatira, have the same compromising group at work in the churches. Persecution, compromise, false teachers are all real problems challenging these first century believers and the reason for this revelation of Jesus Christ. Next week, we'll continue our discussion of the 7 messages. Won't you join me? Thank you, and God bless you.